So has ever hit us, we should look at it. It's interesting. When all the world recognizes beauty as beauty, this in itself is ugliness. When all the world recognizes good as good, this in itself is evil. Indeed, the hidden and the manifest give birth to each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. All in short exhibit each other. High and lucid measure to each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Back and front follow each other. Therefore the sage manages his affairs without ado and spreads his teaching without talking. He negates nothing to the teasing things. He rears them but lays no claim to them. He does his work but sets no store by it. He accomplishes his task but does not dwell upon it. And yet it is just because he does not dwell on it that nobody can ever take it away from him. As always manifest, we should look at its outer aspects. These two flow from the same source, though differently named, and both are called mysteries. The mystery of mysteries is the door of all essence. By not exalting the talented, you will cause the people to cease from rivalry and contention. By not prizing goods hard to get, you will cause the people to cease from robbing and stealing. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. Therefore, the sage's way of governing begins by emptying the heart of desires, filling the belly with food, weakening the ambitions, toughening the bones. In this way, he will cause the people to remain without knowledge and without desire, and prevent the knowing ones from any ado. Practice none ado, and everything will be in order. The town is like an empty bowl, which in being used can never be filled up. Fathomless it seems to be the origin of all things. It blunts all sharp edges, it bends how it is all tangled. It harmonizes all lights, it unites the world into one whole, hidden in the deeps. Yet it seems to exist forever. I do not know whose child it is. It seems to be the common ancestor of all, the father of things. Heaven and earth is not sentimental. It treats all things as straw dogs. The sage is not sentimental. He treats all his people as straw dogs. Between heaven and earth, there seems to be a bellows. It is empty, and yet it is inexhaustible. The more it works.
Albino tits.
Hi, excuse me, but I got a question. How does Bima respond to the accusations of being labeled a Karen?
I'm not a Karen because I wouldn't ever force a company to do something, and I wouldn't legislate a company to do something, but it's just free market feedback. You guys are weird.
I don't know.
I think it's weird that on Clubhouse people say that's weird when they got no real evidence to support the conversation anymore. That's what's weird.
I mean, if I were white, because I'm not white, right? I'm just part white, ancestry. I'm not white, so I don't feel a connection to it.
Are you yellow?
I don't want to be.
Are you brown?
I'm black.
You're black?
Feel a connection to it, so it's like because of me.
I don't believe you.
I don't feel a connection.
I don't believe you. You don't sound black.
I'm definitely not black.
Well, you just said you're black, and you're not white.
I did say I was black, but I'm not white either.
Then what are you?
I don't know.
Are you a man?
I hope so.
Great. What's your point?
Well, my point is that if I'm a white, from that perspective, I can understand where Beaver and Fangs is coming from, because, like, if I were to grow up and I'm just gonna be honest, like, unbiased, if I grow up as a white man, and you get told, like, since history that, like, you're the enemy, in every history book you're the villain, you're always seen as a bad guy, you're never seen as a good person. Every time you hear about how white people do so much crime against humanity in every facet of life, and then now you start to see these places where you start to see people spam, racist things to white people that would be racist if it were in reverse. If you go on the internet, you see people say things like, well, white men have this XYZ problem, or white men make me uncomfortable, or white. But if the roles were reversed, that person would be canceled. And I can understand the feeling on that side, given that if I'm white and I'm seeing all this pushback for being white, I'm going to feel offended. Of course,
It's feel like other white people have to almost make up for that, like
right.
that they have to make up for white people.
And that point too, right? And that's the point too, where like other white people would tell you, like, who you are as a person, like you need to always be sorry, you have to apologize about being white, And I get that point, but I also get Beamer's point too, where it's like, from her perspective, it's like, okay, we have minorities who have these issues, and you have the white majority, and then you have the supremacy issue, then you have the historical context. But then Beaver's point is also correct, where it's like, if Asian people can create their own things, whatever, if black people can create their own black-owned products, why is it wrong for white people to do the same thing too? And I get that. And so I don't think
It's because white people don't have black hair.
It's
It's all about black female hair in the beauty industry, D.
Right. So hold on. I get where Bima, like, the point that I disagree with Bima is maybe with the kid. I don't think a young kid is really thinking racialized things. So maybe it's a little bit too far for me, but I don't see evil intent in Bima, but I do see the pushback. So Bima, if you're gonna say it, you're gonna get a lot of pushback for it, because there is a lot of. I do see the like.
Yeah, no one's accusing Bima of evil intent. When we say Karen, we just mean someone who sounds annoying. It doesn't mean they're evil. They just sound annoying. And so naturally, because this is an audio conference call app, when somebody sounds like an annoying woman, we just say that's a Karen. But we all know Bima has a heart of gold. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here entertaining what she has to say. That's true.
When she told the story and she read both of the letters to me, I said, okay, the doll is not other children. The doll is one specific child. And not knowing that immediately triggered her to immediately write a letter and say, hey, you need to have more diversity within the toys that you make. And this
I didn't know that it was one. I didn't know that it was one character. They're all different things.
But that's exactly what I'm telling you, is that you made a conscious decision to think racially instead of just thinking that this was just one toy, or this was the company's logo or mascot. You didn't think that. The first thing you thought was racial. Okay,
Well,
that's
because
my
they're all
issue.
different.
That's
Yeah,
my issue.
because they're all different.
Do not
Except they're all the same race.
We make foreign powder.
Can you stop interrupting me? I'm trying to get the point across that we need to start capital executions of all the people on.
Anyone else wants to just start interrupting, you're just going to move to the goo without warning. This is my first and last one. Okay?
And you're somehow trying to sweep that under the rug because you're like, oh, I'm just giving them some feedback about your doll. Like, hello, I'm being a good customer. Like, no, that's called being annoying, and it was unnecessary.
You're in the Matrix, Black.
I think Beamer's woke, man. She the wokest person on this goddamn stage.
Well, she's dating a guy that looks just like you, Himothy. He drives a truck. It's her love. It's her
You know
lover.
what they say about woke people? They don't get enough sleep to think clearly.
Thanks, you are black, man. I'm sorry.
See,
What the hell?
Bima's a good
Like, what the hell?
person,
No,
and it's the way she sounds. It's also what she says, which is annoying. But see, the thing that you guys don't realize is that I record her and put her on YouTube, and I just consider it the Bima show. I don't judge what she says.
John,
I don't-
nobody's voting for you.
Well, nobody's voting for you either. And who made you Green Bean God? But the point is, it's the Bima show. Take it away, Bima.
Thanks, John. Yeah, so I just disagree with what your idea is things. I didn't. When you look at our children and you want everybody to feel included. I didn't invent race. Okay, like that wasn't something that.
Of course.
Right. By noticing it. Okay, so. When you look at things like race and then representation, these are things that are part of how
Towels
society
can be
functions.
talked about, but not the eternal tongue. Names can be named, but not the eternal name. As the origin of heaven and earth, it is nameless. As the mother of all things, it is nameable. So as ever hidden, we should look at its inner essence. When all the world recognizes beauty as beauty, this in itself is ugliness. When all the world recognizes good as good, this in itself is evil. Indeed, the hidden and the manifest give birth to each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. All and short exhibit each other. High and low set measure to each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Back and front follow each other. Therefore the sage manages his affairs without ado and spreads his teaching without talking. It aims nothing to the teasing things. He rears them but lays no claim to them. He does his work but sets no store by it. He accomplishes his task but does not dwell upon it. And yet it is just because he does not dwell on it that nobody can ever take it away from him. As always manifest, we should look at its outer aspects. These two flow from the same source, though differently named, and both are called mysteries. The mystery of mysteries is the door of all lessons. By not exalting the talented, you will cause the people to cease from rivalry and contention. By not prizing goods hard to get, you will cause the people to cease from robbing and stealing. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. Therefore, the sage's way of governing begins by emptying the heart of desires, filling the belly with food, weakening the ambitions, toughening the bones. In this will cause the people to remain without knowledge and without desire, and prevent the knowing ones from any ado. Practice non-ado, and everything will be in order. an empty bowl which in being used can never be filled
You
up.
say I didn't
Fathomless it seems to be the origin of all things. It blunts all sharp edges, it bends always all tangled. It harmonizes all weights, it unites the world into one whole entity. Yet it seems to exist forever. I do not know whose child it is. It seems to be
intimidating. Like, oh, well,
It was a request. It wasn't an like.
this day and age, people get canceled for this sort of that type of stuff. So when you lead by that rhetoric, it can make other people think, oh, well, you got something racial going on here. People get canceled for stuff.
That's the free market. I'm sorry, you don't like it. No,
People
exactly.
like you like to cancel people for even the most minorest things.
Absolutely. If you're listen, that is the free market. And what you're saying, people like me, what I believe is that people get to make their decisions as individuals, and they get to put their right. Exactly. So what's the problem with that? Do you just
The problem with it is that the problem with it is that you used it, and now you're using this sort of free market thing as an excuse as to just harass anyone you feel as though is doing something racial.
That's not harassment, bro.
again? You're using the word harassment
They
because
can take it as it's not harassment, but they can take it as
you don't have a better argument, things. You're just
Thank God you told me the letter, because when you read that letter that they sent back to you, they sounded very nice, and they had to educate you real fast before they think
My
this
letter
person can
didn't
cancel
sound-
us.
my letter didn't sound horrible.
It
Even
didn't.
if it did, though, even if it did, these companies ask for feedback all the time. So just because her feedback wasn't positive feedback, that doesn't mean that it's harassment.
So can I go to an Asian store and tell them that they need to start selling more?
If you're a company and you do whatever, if you make some food, whatever you do, I'm pretty sure you want to hear back from your customers, the community, X, Y, and Z.
Not really.
Okay.
And I've worked in a couple of businesses before. The majority of those letters that you saw, quote unquote, they're mostly complaints. They're mostly demands. So just because this one was maybe somewhat productive,
then they print your receipt, and on that receipt it asks for you to do a survey, or when they ask for feedback, that's not
what the supermarket that you get the stuff from.
anything. I mean,
No, they mostly ask you to donate an extra $1 for some sort of charity. I don't know what feedback survey they're giving you.
No, everything he's talking about is just normal companies. Regular companies are constantly trying to improve their
Towels can be talked about, but not the eternal town. Names can be named, but not the eternal name. As the origin of heaven and earth, it is nameless. As the mother of all things, it is nameless. So as ever hidden, we should look at it. It's interesting. When all the world recognizes beauty as beauty, this in itself is ugliness. When all the world recognizes good as good, this in itself is evil. Indeed, the hidden and the manifest give birth to each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short exhibit each other. High and low set measure to each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Back and front follow each other. Therefore the sage manages his affairs without ado and spreads his teaching.
Hey Matthew, have you thought about coming up with a line of dolls to accompany your perfumes, Matthew?
Without talking, he adds nothing to the teeming thing. He rears them but lays no claim to them. He does his work but sets no store by it. it. He accomplishes his task, but does not dwell upon it. And yet it is just because he does not dwell on it that nobody can ever take it away from him. As always manifest, we should look at its outer aspects. These two flow from the same source, differently named, and both are called mysteries. The mystery of mysteries is the door of all lessons. By not exalting the talented, you will cause the people to cease from rivalry and contention. By not prizing goods hard to get, you will cause the people to cease from robbing and stealing. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. Therefore, the sage's way of governing begins by emptying the heart of desire, filling the belly with food, weakening the ambitions, toughening the bones. In this way, he will cause the people.
There's two consequences. There's two potential outcomes that could have happened when I wrote this letter. One, they completely ignored it and they don't give a shit. Two, they say, oh, do you know what? I've actually gotten this same exact email however many times. Let's put this in a file and let's start to reflect this throughout our business practice and relationship business practice. And that's exactly how relationship business and this type of shit works.
Yeah, but if you do the business economics, like you were just talking about business economics, you would know that if you were creating a certain product for everyone, then obviously the inclusion would be there. But if it's just a specific character like Chucky or some sort of other character, then they're going to only make those versions of it, especially if it's some sort of popular doll. So that's why I said you spend those energies to get what you're going to complain about something that's unnecessary.
You keep referring back to and you're trying to backtrack. I told you, I explained that I heard that it was one character in their email to me. I didn't know that.
That's normal. That's just called karma because you wasted your time.
It's not called karma. Things. I'm sorry that you have such a sad outlook on society and you don't trust yourself and you feel like you have no responsibility over what comes. This is fine.
It's not that serious. It's not that serious. Grace was not going to start because of the dog.
I feel like Grace was supposed to stop. I'm asking you what the consequences of what my message and what my email could have done to the company and what it could potentially be versus it being completely ignored.
I have to agree with Bima here. I think Bima is doing the Lord's work and really letting her intuition and willpower manifest into actual political change on the ground. I salute you, Bima. And don't let the haters hate. You're not just a Karen. You might be more than a Karen. Who knows? We don't know everything about you, do we, sweetheart? God bless you, Bima.
Wants to be on the board and the head of the CEO making decisions.
all for making like perfumes for everyone. Like, fuck, I'll make perfumes for everybody, right? And if there's like a niche where they're like, hey, I want like one of your perfumes, that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I'll make it. Why not? You know, a couple Asian influencers told me they'd love to see me to make like a plum blossom kind of perfume, but using different notes than that are typically used to make this plum blossom. So
That's different. I know what you're
Yeah.
saying, but that's completely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, for me, like I'm kind of actually, to be honest, Bima, I don't think like I get like I went to art school and there were people who were super I'm just saying that there's some people that are extreme good at and they're they could create or something. Like I get it. It's because I'm like me, and then like when the kids are watching the cartoons, they usually see just like people that look different from them. I'm not sure like to what I'm just saying that this conversation exists, right? I'm not saying what I personally think about it, right?
Matthew, if I buy myself some suit and see the Aunt Jemima girl on there, and I write that same company that made the Aunt Jemima maple syrup and said, hey, you know what you should do? You should put a white lady instead of a black lady on there, just to create more diversity. You know, more people can buy this and, you know, feel included buying your syrup because there's more, you know, people on there instead of just a black lady. How do you think that would make me look today?
Well, you know what?
It's just crazy that you have to feel, it's just crazy that you have to identify and feel and almost, you know, have the same thing in your mind. Like it's really strange.
You know what's funny is,
And we don't keep that metric with anybody else.
Matthew, could you maybe make me a perfume called Aunt Jemima's perfume? I'd like to buy that from you, Matthew.
Did Carmelo Anthony ever write back to
did you guys know like the very first female millionaire in the United States was a black lady? I just learned about this recently.
Bima, you need to account for this to answer.
Matthew, do you like Jean-Paul Gaultier, Le Maire?
Demand an explanation.
I don't know. I don't know if you got it. I did have somebody friend who calls him. He calls him. I have a call him. I'm not gonna call him, but
Read the letter.
I'll ask her. That's disgusting.
Oh, this is America, where the Karens live.
Anyways, you know, I was just watching a travel show of this fucking, what is it, Kigali City in Rwanda. The place looks fucking amazing.
Matthew, can you make me a perfume called Kigali City? I'd like to buy it from you tonight.
Yeah, it's apparently like the safest, cleanest city in the world. It's fucking looks very cool.
It's beautiful.
Matthew, do you have a beret? Because I'd like to send you a beret, Matthew. I think you'd look very handsome walking around Kigali City in a beret. And I would like for you to clone Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Mail for me. Thank you, Matthew.
Jean-Paul Gaultier, the designer?
The perfume, perfume. It's a famous formula. I actually know it. I memorized it.
Hello, Thunder. Would you like to speak? Or different? Nina, why did you sigh just a second ago?
So D, you've been there? You've been to Kigali?
Wait, I asked the questions. No, Beaver, but.
John Kitover is annoying.
So what? That's the question, right? Beaver.
Yeah, let's get this room popping, y'all.
I'd like to ask when did you make
Write
the
the
letter?
letters to Carmelo Anthony's not gonna get it done, y'all. That's not gonna get it done, y'all. Alright, we need to get provocative.
It was recent. It might not have even gotten to him yet.
Some reparations. We need some, Donald Trump.
Anthony fired up. Pumped up, super excited.
Yes, delete it. You are diabolical. Delete it, write another letter saying, I'm very sorry, thank you for your time.
Dear Carmelo, I pray to Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, every day for the capital punishment execution program with the United States government to be reinstituted to rid ourselves from human pieces of shit like you forever. God bless in the name of our Lord, Father, Jesus Christ, amen.
I don't want to talk about this. Please don't talk about this. It's too upsetting. I think it's too close. You changed to Beaver.
Hey man, you kill. If you kill, you go to jail. Don't.
Can you maybe create me a perfume called,
No, not
you know,
everybody that kills goes to jail, thanks.
what did Carmelo say before he stabbed him in the chest? He's like, fuck around and find out.
Yeah, not everybody that defends themselves gets a walk.
Was Carmelo defending himself?
Facts, absolutely.
He was defending himself.
110%.
100%. 110%.
What do you mean how?
Where was the other person's weapon?
It doesn't matter.
I think it does.
Okay, we could just. What about the last?
This
there
isn't
was a
West Side
shooting of
Story.
Shot
Everybody
some
doesn't have
guy
to have a
in
knife.
parking lot. He didn't have no weapon. He was just walking.
Yeah,
Look at
that's
all.
true.
Just
I want to
look at all
dedicate
the
this
different
next flute song to
movements
Carmelo
of
for you all.
self-defense. Yeah, but my point is that they walk. They get to go.
Just because somebody walks up to you and says, hey, you can't be here, doesn't give you the right to just stab somebody. Sorry.
Of course not. Yeah, but that's not what happened, is it?
No, that wasn't the case.
No, sorry, Fangs. That's not what happened.
That's
And so he got stabbed.
The Holy Spirit came down from outer space in heaven, took a knife, and plunged it into his chest. It wasn't him. It wasn't Carmelo.
Over here in New Jersey.
Sweet, beautiful baby boy Carmelo would never do such a thing.
Yeah, I almost went to jail for something like that. Just because someone puts their hands on you to try to maybe push you out the way or something like that, that doesn't mean you get to now use extreme violence against them. Maybe if you pushed them and got into a scuffle, that'd be a different story. You stabbing somebody is not the answer or response to someone just touching you. If it is, then majority of us will be dead. And majority of us will be in prison for those reasons.
In response to protect his assaulter. Okay, what Austin Metcalf? Listen, Austin Metcalf is the criminal. He's the first criminal.
Okay, give me the description of the assault. Did he punch him? Did he smack him?
Yeah, he moved, he threatened him, and then he moved, he
No,
said he was
that's
going to
not-
move him, and then he grabbed him. Yeah, he did.
That's
He
not
grabbed him and he
assault.
touched him. Well, you need to look at the laws.
That's
and
threatening and
actual-
intimidation at its finest. That's not assault.
As soon as you move, and all of the testimony proves this, right? They talk about the type of initiation of force that Austin Metcalf used, and in the least, it could be it's a class C misdemeanor. I have to grab it, or it could be even as something here. Let me grab it, but there's
Right.
two.
Yeah,
Right,
because
right.
in
So
this
it doesn't
scene,
matter. In
between
either way, it was a crime that.
yeah, either way, he deserves to get killed for it. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying no. That's not what we're litigating. We weren't
But you're litigating that he was. No. Listen to what you're saying. You're justifying it. Yes, you are, because you just justified it. You're saying, oh, if you don't do that, then you won't get stabbed.
No, we're saying that somebody doesn't have the authority. You don't have the moral authority. Hold on. You don't have the moral authority to force me, okay, to calibrate your defense, to calibrate your protection when you're assaulting me. If you're going to come after me, I have the own things that are going on in my own life, right? I may have just had a shoulder surgery a couple months earlier that I can't just get into, what is it called, a fisticuff scuffle. It's going to, you could permanently injure my entire arm and my entire future for whatever it is could be at risk. You're putting my life at risk by even starting to want to initiate aggression upon me. I also may have epilepsy, where because we understand that epilepsy affects the prefrontal cortex. Hold on, wait a second. Hold on. Just let me finish. I could have, because guess what? Both of these things were in the case of Carmelo Anthony. Okay, you could trigger a seizure that could be deadly. He had no moral obligation to protect his defender or to protect his assaulter. If you're going to initiate aggression, okay, he's innocent.
He's innocent. That's what you got.
He's innocent. He did not murder that boy.
He did not murder.
I don't know where you're coming from, but I don't think that she's not having time to there should be some sort of I'm not going to do if you're innocent, you don't have any punishment for what you're doing wrong.
Right.
You have to do something wrong to get into trouble. Right? Like you said,
At the end of the video, he went up to him first and he said, "Hey, Mark, you don't belong here. Can you please go over there?" And my teacher assigned him to tell other people that didn't belong in that nook that they couldn't be there. He said, "Hey, man, you couldn't be there." He even tried to be polite at first with his body language in the beginning of the video. If you watch the video, he was coming up politely with his body language. Then when he didn't listen, he tried to push him gently until the guy yeah, and then he got stabbed for it. He got stabbed for doing his job. If they were working for a teacher, you have to, because I get written up.
Hold on. Another student comes and tells you what to do. That's exactly why.
My school had home
Students don't have any
monitors.
type of authority. No.
My school had home monitors. You would have
In
to
this
keep
way, he wants the people to remain
That's
on
correct.
the
It has nothing to do with one student telling another student what to do.
That's their job to do as another teacher assigned them.
They can say things to them. They can say things. Austin could have went up to him and talked to him for hours, right? But the problem was when Austin decided to initiate violent force.
When he tried to push him out of the video, he got stabbed for that is a responsible reaction to getting shoved out of a nook you're not supposed to be in, getting stabbed.
I'm saying that it was responsible.
But what you're saying that it's innocent. So
I'm
what
not
is
saying
it?
that it was stupid. I'm saying I think there was a lot of things. I think that it was. I think. Listen, I think that there are a lot of things that could have been done differently. But do I think that he should be guilty of murder? Absolutely not. It doesn't mean that Vince Rhea. There was no intention. He didn't know the kid before. He had no relationship with the kid. The kid came up to him, started to use violent force. He was, even in the moment that that happened, you can even look at the type of the stab, the level of stab, and how when it was a defensive, it wasn't an offense, it wasn't, yes, it wasn't just a corner. Okay, do you know how the stab, do you know what the stab Of course you could. What do you mean the first step? There was only one
He first
stab.
got stabbed, he was retreating.
There
He
was
was
only
holding
one
his
stab.
stab wound bleeding.
Yes, but after he was able to get away.
I get very
You're just trying to justify
That's the second time. It was one that Carmelo moved away. Carmelo moved away.
I hear both of you guys, right? Like, I'm going to go on your argument, right? Because in the beginning, I felt the same way as you. Let's assume that Carmelo Anthony was in self-defense and he killed him, right? To say that he's innocent is a little too far-fetched. If anyone who comes after me, right? If it's a punch, if it's a push, I have a decision. Either I can run away. If I can't run away, I can tell someone. If I know these people are bullies, I can be a snitch. But these days in our community, snitching and doing the right thing is not seen as cool. We like to get our money back. If that were me, there's different alternatives that could have been better. I don't think that Carmelo's Anthony's life was in danger to kill that man. I don't think he warranted a death. I don't think so. To call it, just to say that he was defending himself. I get it. I get the argument. But you're saying he's defending himself. I don't think he's defending his life. And that's my argument. It's like, okay, what you say is true. I still don't think he's innocent. He deserves to have jail time. There are a number of years in jail. It's not to be. What do you think they're doing in jail for?
Right. Because you're not defending yourself. You're not defending your life. You're defending yourself. If you punch that other kid and they can I could understand. They're kids. So these kids are in the wrong time. How they met for the first place is also a street art.
Listen, my daughter.
So you went to school, that means I'm still smart.
No. My daughter got into a fight at school. The bitch did a sucker punch in the back. Her back was turned, and she got into the back. And then my daughter, sprayed her. And my daughter got in trouble because she had pepper spray on the pepper. And I was trying to tell them she was not intentionally using the pepper spray. Just she uses pepper spray in case she, if she takes public transportation. So that's the reason why she got the pepper spray. But my daughter got it,
Yeah, the pepper spray would have been a way better altercation. If Carmelo Anthony had pepper spray, I would have agreed. Okay, yeah, he touching you is going to be mental aggression. But you sat him. You took this little kid's life. Because you can't, because he's telling you this kid
This is an argument. I will give more talking points to the left. The only argument the left have for this debate is the systematic unfairness when it comes to the number of years and how they persecuted Carmelo Anthony. They can go based on, okay, well, white guy, he got less crime for doing a rape or a murder. I can understand the debate, but to say that Carmelo is doing something out of, saving his life or doing a justice thing, let's go with that, right? Imagine that Carmelo Anthony doesn't get in trouble. What message does it send to America? Okay, if anybody pushes you, if you're black or any other minority, you can just kill somebody. And you're fine.
The message. That's the message that
That's what
people
you're conveying. That's what you're conveying.
Hold on. That's because people don't understand what the law is and what it's supposed to do and the litigation, right? That's not what it's conveying. What we already have laws in place that say you can't hurt people, you can't kill people, you can't do these things. What the litigation is saying whether you're guilty or not of those laws that already exist. We already have those moral standards. It's not saying that you can go and do anything that's with those very specific circumstances, in that very specific place, in that time, and that day, in that moment, in that location, with those two very specific people, did they meet the criteria of this or that? That's what that's saying. There's nothing else. There's no legal.
But Bima, it's like you're making Carmelo Anthony out into a hero. He's a murderer. He stabbed someone and killed someone and took someone's life. He's not a hero. You're making him out into a hero. He's not a hero. He made a bad decision. How dare you? How dare you?
And that's all it was. It was just a bad decision. Don't get it with the kids, the group of things. The girl had a knife on him. He didn't know how to react in that situation. Didn't know what to do. He reacted in fury and impulse. And not justifying something that happened with impulse. People do stupid shit like that. And if you're not justifying the stupid shit, then everyone else is gonna start doing it. And you're gonna start seeing it from.
Again, it's not justification.
Yes, you are.
It's with this.
Just say that, okay, he did something dumb and now he's accusing. You can just go home and prison for a living. What's it talking? Yes. Even in Jersey, the standard crown laws are very specific. Yes, you can have a firearm, but you need to have it in a specific place. Yes, you can shoot someone, but only if they threaten you with a weapon. Like there's certain things you just can't do.
I get the situation, but it was like,
You can't stick a knife in someone else's chest, right? I'm pretty sure that's illegal, correct? If you're in a tent and somebody's like, hey man, you gotta get out of here, you can't be in here. You can't just like pull a knife out and stick it in somebody's chest, right? Hello?
In this case, I don't think the white boy that was going after Carmelo Anthony, the black boy, to kill Carmelo Anthony. I don't think and the evil intent behind the bully, the quote unquote bully, is that high and that warrants. I think the guy that was he deserved to get killed. Yeah, I don't think he was to that level.
It's not about a deserve, right? That's also not what we're litigating. Nobody deserves to be killed, okay? That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, in this particular case, is Carmelo Anthony, that's what's being litigated. You understand that the prosecution, he's the defense. It is up to the state, the prosecution, to prove beyond reasonable doubt that he committed murder with this criteria, this mens rea. And if you look at it, it just doesn't meet it.
It's murder.
You could say that because you have no, come up with a better argument instead of just like.
Well, let's say, how about this? Let's say I'm at a convenience store. Wait, moderator, let me give you an example. I'm at a liquor store. Moderator. Moderator. Let me give you a good example. Let's say, moderator. Hello, Bima, Earth to Bima. Let's say I'm at a liquor store and I'm a little intoxicated, okay, and I've been drinking a little bit all day long. And I go to the cash register and I got a box of iced tea vodkas and I don't have the money. And the cashier says, "Sir, if you don't have the money, you're gonna have to leave." And I'm like, "What the fuck did you say to me?" And then the cashier's like, "You gotta leave, sir, if you don't have the money to pay for all this iced tea vodka." And then he he kind of intimidates me a little bit. So I pull a knife out and I stick him in the chest and I kill him. But I'm black and he's white. And he's a college student and I'm a college student. And so the point is, sticking knives in people's chests, that's illegal. And if you don't know that, you are fucking retarded. I am complete.
Yes.
Yeah, and exactly, what he did was he totally just made a non-comparison, changing who an aggressor is. He actually created an aggressor. Alistair created the aggressor. I mean, are you nobody's making a point of that? I would agree that if somebody stabs somebody else because they're unhappy with what somebody else is, you have to have the initiation of violence for something. It has to be self-defense. You have to be defending yourself.
That's not the way to defend yourself. Stabbing or having a knife is not the way to defend yourself against
There's many ways to defend themselves.
No, this isn't the streets, Iman. This was school. This was school, Iman.
There are people that are defending themselves with guns.
Like I said, this was school. This isn't the streets. This isn't wherever you go to the gun range at. This was school. You brought a knife to school. You stabbed a school student, a child. You're going to jail. You're gonna get some jail time. This
You
isn't.
can't
this
say
isn't
the
a
word R word
no, this is just
on TikTok.
Time he's gonna get.
The R word is
What you're saying
illegal.
is
Stab a child if you're saying you have to make the same. So a child stabbed a child. So then why would you? So if it's a child, is that morality? Is it right? Oh, but now he's no longer a child. Is he an adult or a child?
He's a student. He's a student. He's 17.
Okay, so then why would you make it
So technically, he's a minor.
And so do you see how you use an appeal to emotion? This is bandwagon appeal. This is a logical fallacy. You're trying to say, look, when you're referring to Austin Metcalf, the 6'1", 200 and something pound dude, right? All of a sudden he's a child, and then Carmelo Anthony is what?
I know, he's 17. Yes, they were both 17.
Point made.
Yeah, being there is what you're talking about. You didn't make it. You just Bima, I have a question.
Another insult.
I have a question. No, serious question. Like, no, this is good. This is good. I have a question, Bima. What should happen to Carmelo Anthony? What do you think would be
Walk away from this situation.
Exactly. Free. He didn't do nothing wrong.
There were other people who have used self-defense to defend themselves. If you think that his life is going to be bombing bombs and gum drops raining down, he's killed somebody. There's even if he walks away from this, he's permanent. His life is permanently changed. His entire things that he has to live with, the things that he has to make up. This is going to be a lifetime journey of war on him, right in himself. That's why when you make a decision like this, this is why this isn't a commonplace action.
Yeah, but see, Bima, look at Mangione. Look at Mangione. But Bima, Mangione did the same thing. Mangione did the same thing. Yeah, Mangione did the same thing. He can't. No. You can't apply one thing to one person and not say it applies to another. Is it because he's black and we live in structural white racism? Is that it? Because Mangione did the same thing. Mangione killed a person in cold blood. Mangione did the same thing. Same laws got to apply to the same situation. It's the same situation. They killed him. Broad daylight. Broad daylight. The guy, Bryan Cranston, or whatever his name was from United Healthcare, was like, "Don't kill me, bro. I'm not a criminal." He's like, "Yes, you are. You're a fucking criminal, and you're intimidating me and the world and all the Americans who can't get health insurance. Now I have to kill you. You're going to die." And then he killed him. And so the same rules apply, that he should be able to walk free too. Why can't he walk free? If Carmelo can walk free, why can't Mangione walk free? Explain to me. Why don't I understand your brain? Hello?
stupid things as a kid. You do stupid things off of pure impulse. But to justify these quick impulses while you're young and dumb is what we're not gonna do.
It's not a justification. Again, you fundamentally.
Yes, you are, because you're saying he should walk scot-free for just stabbing someone in the stomach or
misunderstand
just whatever it was.
what law is, Fangs.
Okay, but the law is not. Okay, no. This is what you're.
What
Okay, Bima,
exactly
let me
a
finish.
criminal case is.
Let me finish this because
Fundamentally
you got this very confused.
misunderstand. This is supposed to be a case of because you're saying total stupid shit.
Because you're
And
saying,
you're
oh, well,
talking
it's
about
self-defense, so he should
what
kill
is
him.
gonna be
It's just
justified.
self-defense, so
You're
it doesn't
talking
work
about
that way.
justification. We're not talking about
That's not the right justification for
That's
it.
not no. What I'm saying is
What do you
that's
say?
not when there's. I already explained it. I mean, could you
He should
be
stab
able
him
to
because he was
feel
threatened
what
and he
I'm
was the
saying,
aggressor.
Fangs?
He got stabbed
I'm
because
not
he was
talking
making the
about
aggressor.
I'm not talking about that. I'm
But you
talking
said it. It
about
came out your
law.
mouth.
When we're talking about law, but that's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about
Oh,
in
God.
law. When somebody, yeah, exactly. Oh God, and mute up because it's saying you don't know what you're talking about. Clearly, either
I
respond to
don't
what I'm
debate
saying
on
and make
this.
an argument.
Town can be
Clearly you
talked
lost.
about, but not the eternal tongue. Names can be named, but not the eternal name. As the origin of heaven and earth in his name was, as the mother of all things, it is nameable. So as ever hidden, we should look at its inner essence. When all the world recognizes beauty as beauty, this in itself is ugliness. When all the world
Right or wrong, it is stopping at risk because we're going to create a domino effect. If I kill someone and I'm at a young age, dude, I'm out of control. Even if I'm right, psychologically, there's something wrong. I need help.
Well, see, the progressive pluralists who say that stabbing a knife into someone's chest doesn't mean that's mental health illness or breaking the law or illegal. Hello? Oh, you gonna make a finer point than that?
The reason why I would go to jail, even if I'm right or wrong, is because at a young age, I don't have the mental or emotional capability to process this. If I get away scot-clean free, it reinforces the belief that I'm powerful. I can do anything now. If anybody fucks with me, I can just stab you, whether I'm right or wrong or not. So, Bima, to say that he's innocent and just to walk away, that's lives at risk at this point.
Well,
Whether he's right or wrong or not.
I would like to make an alternative point, which is put me in the queue, Bima.
What I'm saying is he's not guilty. He's not guilty of murder. That's what I'm saying. That what they have on the books is what qualifies as murder. I'm saying that criteria has not been met. Okay. Now, if you're going to make the claim that that there's some sort of mental illness, then he shouldn't be in a jail. He should be getting mental help. He should be in some sort of institution for people with.
Yeah, that's called high school, right? Where he should be, right?
You're now using the industrial prison.
Is there like an alternative for his high school football program and
potential business? But hold on, but the evidence doesn't even support that. Dude. That's a problem. That's where your argument fails short, like significantly. This kid, okay, Carmelo Anthony, he had multiple jobs in the real world, multiple years. He was a responsible kid, 16 years old. He was working at Foot Locker for 2 full years in the real world with real adults, not on high school grounds, not with other high schoolers. He's going out and he's working a job and getting paid. He worked at HEB at the grocery store. Hold on. So now you're understanding that this kid has an entirely different understanding of what is and what isn't appropriate to be touching. You can't. His responsibility level was so high that that's what, if anything, he understood what and how society is supposed to act. That you just can't walk around and assault people. You can't assault people. Unfortunately, Austin. Hold on, wait, thanks. Unfortunately, Austin Metcalf was an immature, uneducated idiot that thought that he could still, an immature, hormonal boy that is using, the guise of high school grounds to be able to assault somebody, which if he were to do that same exact thing 100 feet off school grounds, he would have been arrested.
Bima, try to land your point, because some of us got to get to bed and get to work tomorrow. Put me in the queue. Thank you, Bima.
Wait a second. He would have been arrested. Okay, so what are the other things that says, oh, wait a second, it shows that he has a great GPA. He's disciplined. He knows what discipline is. He goes home and he does his school, a great GPA. Wow, okay. What else? He was the captain of his football team elected. Hold on a second. So an entire group of his peers said,
hello, testing mic.
Hold on. You're the best person out of all of us on this team to lead us, to guide us, for us to look to for advice and instruction and information and guidance. You're the number. Oh, wait, hold on. It wasn't just one team. He was team elected captain from two separate teams, two completely different.
The AI summary says that we are debating the severity of self-defense and the justice system.
Understood what it was to act in the real world, what should and shouldn't be appropriate, and when initiation of violent aggression is being used upon you, and how to defend yourself in the real world. Unfortunately, Austin Metcalf failed that test, and he fucked around and found out.
Fucked around and found out justice is not the legal system. She just summarized her rant with fuck around and find out, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't justify plunging a knife into people's chests, now does it? It doesn't, does it? Put me in the queue, Bima. I need to make an alternative point about the room and about the topic. Put me in the queue. Hello?
Take notes. Watch what D does. Watch D. He makes good arguments. He responds to what I'm saying. No. Mute up.
But when you're dealing with an ignoramus, it's hard.
Hold on. Another insult. Wonderful. That's all you're good for.
Projection alert. Let's get the projection mirror out and turn on the projection activation system. It's just ad hominem projection at this point. Put me in the queue as well. I was before you, Char. A.K. Rayabya.
Wake up about it, nigga.
Yeah, I want to make an alternative point about the topic and about the room. And it's that if you come here to get gaslit and you get angry communicating with Bima or Himothy or Beaver, the saying is, if you can make someone angry, you can make them your slave. And I just want to say that if you come here and get angry,
You hear me talk this, get your ass.
damn, somebody got a little angry. Somebody got a little angry. Hello?
Indeed, the hidden and the manifest give birth to each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. On and short exhibit each other. High and low set measure to each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Back and front follow each other. Therefore the sage manages his affairs without ado and spreads his teaching without talking. It aims nothing to the teaching thing. He rears them but lays no claim to them. He does his work but sets no store by it. He accomplishes his task but does not dwell upon it. And yet it is just because he does not dwell on it that nobody can ever take it away from him. As always manifest, we should look at outer aspects. These two flow from the same source, though differently named, and both are called mysteries. The mystery of mysteries is You will cause the people to cease from robbing and stealing. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. Therefore, the sage's way of governing begins by emptying the heart of desire, filling the belly with food, weakening the ambitions, toughening the bones. In this way, he will cause the people to remain without knowledge and without desire, and prevent the knowing ones from any ado. Practice not doing, and everything will be in order. The town is like an empty bowl which in being used can never be filled up. Fathomless it seems to be the origin of all things. It blunts all sharp edges, it bends always all tangles. It harmonizes all lights, it unites the world into one whole hidden in the deeps, yet seems to exist forever. I do not know whose child it is. It seems to be the common ancestor of all the father of things. Heaven and earth is not sentimental. It treats all things as straw dogs. The sage is not sentimental. He treats all his people as straw dogs. Between heaven and earth, there seems to be a bellows. It is empty and yet it is inexhaustible. The more it works, the more it comes out of it. No amount of words can fathom a better look for it within you. The spirit of the fountain dies not. It is called the mysterious feminine. The doorway of the mysterious feminine is called the root of heaven on earth. Lingering like gossamer, it has only a hint of existence. And yet, when you draw upon it, it is inexhaustible. Heaven lasts long and earth abides. What is the secret of their unity? Is it not because they do not live for themselves that they can live so long? Therefore, the sage wants to remain behind, but finds himself at the head of others, reckons himself out, but finds himself safe and secure. Is it not because he is selfless that his self is realized? The highest form of goodness is like water. Water knows how to benefit all things without striving within. It stays in place, is known by all men. Therefore it comes near the town. In choosing your dwelling, know how to keep to the ground. In cultivating your mind, know how to dive in the hidden deeps. In dealing with others, know how to be gentle and kind. In speaking, know how to keep your words. In governing, know how to maintain order. In transacting business, know how to be efficient. In making moves, know how to choose the right moment. If you do not strive with others, you will be free from blame. As for holding to fullness, far better were it to stop in time, keep on beating and sharpening a sword.